At the end of this video, you'll know the quickest way to connect with a new woman. And without wasting your time with too much talk, let me tell you the fastest way is to skip all the surface level and go straight to emotional resonance. So, how do you actually do that? There are 6 steps. And if you follow them without even trying, you'll notice that any girl you talk to starts to feel connected to you within moments, and you'll slip straight into her mind. Step 1. Emotional spike, greater than logical rapport. Let's start with what most guys do when they meet a new girl. They play it safe. They try to be agreeable. They ask where she's from, what she studies, what she does for work. You know, the respectable route. They think, if I show her I'm smart, stable, and we have things in common, she'll like me. Connection doesn't come from similarity. It comes from stimulation. Her nervous system doesn't care if you both like the same books. It cares if something about you made her heart rate change. Because what her body is scanning for unconsciously is aliveness. That's why emotional spikes are more powerful than logical rapport. Logic is processed. Emotion is felt. Logic goes to the brain. Emotion hits the body. And guess which one creates memory? Imagine you're a woman. Dozens of guys are texting you. Most of them say the same things. Hey, you're beautiful. What do you do? And even if one of them is handsome, even if he's interesting, if he doesn't spike her emotion, if he doesn't break the emotional flatline, her system files him away as background noise. But then you come in, and instead of playing it safe, you say something that throws her off, not in a creepy way, just something unexpected. You challenge her, tease her, confuse her for half a second, or trigger just a flicker of uncertainty. And boom, her body feels something. That feeling, that flicker, is you breaking through the firewall. See, emotions are how the brain tags events as important. So if you make her feel something, even just a moment of surprise, intrigue, or playful tension, her brain says, wait, what was that? Pay attention to this one. And now you're no longer a stranger. You're the guy who made her feel. Once you understand this, you realize you don't need her to like you right away. You just need to be the guy who affects her emotional state. And once you know how to do that, even subtly, you live rent-free in her system. And the moment you become the most emotionally stimulating thing in the room, everything else starts to bend around you. So yeah, emotional spike beats logic every time. Because connection isn't built from facts, it's built from friction. Step 2. Break the pattern. Pattern immediately. This is the kind of thing that once you understand it, you stop acting like the rest of the guys. And suddenly, you're the one she keeps thinking about, even when she doesn't want to. So, break the pattern immediately. What does that mean? It means most interactions, especially early ones, are predictable. She meets a guy and the script is already written in her head before he even opens his mouth. Hi, I'm Bob. Where are you from? Oh, nice. What do you do? Oh, cool. I do this. Polite smile. Predictable questions. Polite answers. Nothing sticks. She's heard this exact conversation 1,000 times. It's like background music. Easy to ignore. And that's why you have to break it fast. Because the guy who breaks the pattern is the one who hijacks her attention. Not necessarily the hottest, richest, or smoothest, but the one who made her nervous system go, wait, this feels different. Imagine she's scrolling through life like she scrolls through her phone. Tap, 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 nothing's grabbing her. Then boom, she reads something strange, something that doesn't fit, something that forces her brain to stop and make sense of it. That's you. You walk in and instead of saying, hey, what's your name? You look at her and say, you look like you were about to leave, but something made you stay. Am I right? Or, while everyone's being polite and careful, you lean back and say, you know, you look way too serious to be fun. I hope I'm wrong. Now she's off script. Now she's not thinking about how to politely answer. She's thinking about you. You've put her in a moment she wasn't prepared for. That's rare. That's valuable. Because people remember the interruptions in their routine, not the routine itself. and we're wired to ignore the familiar and obsess over the unfamiliar. So if you follow the script, she forgets you. But if you break the pattern, you burn into her memory. Even if she tries to forget, her brain keeps circling back, trying to figure you out. That's curiosity. And curiosity is emotional glue. So remember this. When you first meet a girl, you are not competing with other guys. You're competing with her expectations. And if you act the way she expects, you're already lost. But if you break the rhythm, even just slightly, she starts watching you. And once her attention locks on you, connection becomes inevitable. Don't blend in. Don't follow the script. Just say something that interrupts her autopilot, and you'll be the only one she remembers when the night is over. Step 3. Focus on her inner world, not her resume. Forget what you've been told about. Ask her about her job, what she studies, or what her plans are for the future. That's the resume version of her. That's what she tells strangers, teachers, interviewers, and boring dates who just want to look polite. But if you're smart, and I know you are, you're not trying to be polite. You're trying to get in. And to get in, you don't talk to the shell of her. You talk to the part no one else ever asks about, the real girl living underneath the surface. Let me show you what I mean. You meet a girl, and she says she studies psychology. Most guys, they say, "Oh, cool. Do you want to be a therapist?" Polite, predictable, surface level, dead on arrival. But you say, psychology? That means you either like to understand people or control them. Which one is it? Boom. You just skipped her resume and walked straight into her mind. Now she has to feel her answer. Now she's not just giving you facts, she's showing you who she is beneath the facts. And that's where the bond starts. You're no longer one of the guys asking, "Where do you work?" You're the guy asking, "What's something you feel like no one really understands about you?" Or did you ever meet someone who made you feel seen in a weird way? Like they got you without you having to explain anything. You're not gathering data. You're tapping into emotion. And the moment you make a woman feel emotionally seen, that's when attraction hits like a drug. Because she suddenly feels like you're the only one who sees the version of her she usually hides. That's what makes her think about you later. That's what makes her open up. And that's when the connection gets real fast. So every time you talk to a woman, ask yourself, am I talking to her resume or am I talking to her inner world? Because once you get access to that inner world, you're no longer just some guy she met. You're the guy who actually gets her. And that's the guy she'll never forget. Step 4. Create micro mystery or tension. Step 4. Create micro mystery or tension. You ever noticed how the less someone explains themselves, the more curious you get? That guy in the group who barely talks, but when he does, everyone listens. That girl who gets quiet mid-convo and stares at her drink. You can't help but wonder what she's thinking. That's not by accident. That's micro mystery. And in your case with women, it's one of the fastest, most addictive triggers you can create. You don't need to be mysterious like you're in a movie, brooding in a corner wearing sunglasses at night. What you want is friction, tension, a little emotional itch she can't quite scratch. Most guys overshare. They meet a girl and start confessing everything. Their job, their past, their dreams, how their last breakup really changed them. She didn't ask for all that, and now you're just another guy with no edge. What you want to do is this. Be honest, but leave gaps. Say almost enough, but not everything. Say something like, "Yeah, that city reminds me of something weird I went through, but I'll tell you that story another time." Then just smile and change the topic. Watch what happens. Her brain hates loose ends. It will chew on that thread like a dog with a bone. She'll replay that moment in her head later, wondering, what did he mean? Why didn't he tell me? Was it something dark? Something funny? Something about a girl? And now you're stuck in her mind. And once she's invested in figuring you out, you've got her attention in a way 99% of guys never do. Same goes for tension. When she teases you, don't laugh nervously and agree. Push back. Challenge her gently. If she says, I don't date guys like you, just smirk and say, I don't date girls like you either. This is going to be fun. It's the same formula. You're not being aggressive. You're being unresolved. And unresolved tension is magnetic. Think of it like a song that never quite lands on the final note. It keeps playing in her head, waiting to finish. But only you can finish it. That's micro mystery. That's tension. And that's how you stop being a moment and start being a mental loop she can't shut off. Step 5. Use humor that frames you as the prize. You've probably been told to just be funny 1,000 times. Cool. But what kind of funny? That's the part no one explains, because not all humor is equal. Some guys use it to entertain, others use it to get approval. But the kind of humor that actually pulls a woman into your frame is the kind that assumes you're already the prize. It's not jokes, it's attitude wearing a smile. Let me show you what I mean. A guy who's chasing her validation might say something like, "Oh, I hope I'm not boring you. Ha ha ha." That's humor, but it's weak. It's submissive. It screams, "I hope you like me." But a guy who is the prize, he'll say something like, "Be honest. How lucky do you feel right now sitting here with me?" Same playful tone, but the second one flips the frame. Now she's thinking, wait, am I lucky? Boom. That's where attraction lives. Because when you use humor like that, humor that presupposes your value, she stops evaluating you and starts trying to prove herself to you. It's that cheeky, arrogant charm that says, I'm not trying to win you. You're trying to keep up. And the beauty of it? It's not threatening. It's not aggressive. It's wrapped in humor, so it slips past her filters. She can't call it cocky because you're laughing, but the message lands anyway. It's playful confidence. It makes her feel like she's inside your world, like you're the main character, and she's the love interest who has to impress you just enough to earn her next scene. And that subtle shift from please like me to you're lucky I'm here, that's what makes her lean in. That's what builds tension. That's what creates chase. So yeah, keep being funny, but don't be a clown. Be the prize who just happens to be hilarious. Step 6. Don't try to impress, make her react. This rule is one of the very first principles I break down in detail in my online course. Trying to impress her is the biggest sign that, in your own mind, you already see her as above you. And you know what that does? It kills the tension, the mystery, the polarity. Because the moment she feels you're performing for her, she mentally files you as below her. Think about it. When a guy brags about his car, his money, his travels, his achievements, she doesn't think, wow, he's impressive. She thinks, why is he telling me this? Because truly, impressive men don't try to impress. They create reactions. They speak and then watch how she reacts. They tease her and then pause to see what it stirs up. They drop a bold comment, then lean back. Let her feel it. Let her respond. Let her chase. It's not about being cold. It's about being the one who creates the emotional current, not the one who's swept up in it. Here's what you need to understand. When you're trying to impress a woman, your focus is on you. How you're coming across, how cool you sound, how good your story is. But when you're making her react, your focus is on her. You're observing, you're reading, you're controlling the rhythm of the moment, you're leading. And that's what flips everything. Suddenly, she's not thinking, do I like him? She's thinking, why did he say that? What did he mean by that smile? Why isn't he trying harder? You hijack her mind because people don't fall for those who try to win them. They fall for those who pull them into something they can't explain. And that something is when you stop showing her your value and start triggering her emotions. One makes her nod, the other makes her obsess. Step 7. Calibrate. Calibrate based on energy just means this. Stop reacting to her words. Start reacting to her vibe. See, a lot of guys try to impress, seduce, or joke around without ever checking if she's even mentally there. They go full speed while she's emotionally parked somewhere else. She's giving dry one-word replies, and they keep texting like she's excited. She's distracted or tired, and they're trying to flirt like it's a party. It's like playing music for someone who's wearing headphones. Here's the truth: women don't remember what you said, they remember how in sync it felt. If she's low energy and you're hyped up, it feels off. If she's playful and you're being too serious, it feels off. If she's opening up emotionally and you respond with a joke, it feels off. That mismatch, that's what kills the vibe. But when you calibrate, when you match her emotional rhythm, then slightly lead it forward, that's when it feels like you just get her. That's when she starts saying, I don't know why, but I feel so comfortable around you. I feel like you understand me. I don't usually open up like this, but it's not magic. It's just energy reading. And no, it's not about being passive or walking on eggshells. It's about watching how she reacts to you and knowing when to pull back, when to push forward, and when to just sit in silence with her until she's ready to follow your lead. Golden rule. When you put all of this together, without even realizing it, you'll find yourself constantly meeting new girls. Any girl you talk to will feel like you're not an ordinary guy, and she'll remember you. But before I end the video, I want to tell you a golden rule that I want you to remember for the rest of your life. What I told you today, I don't want you to just memorize it. I want you to truly understand it and internalize it. I want this to become part of your nature, something you do instinctively. Yeah, maybe at first you'll need to consciously remind yourself to apply it, but over time it will become second nature. And that's when you'll start to develop an aura that makes girls attracted to you and think about you without you even knowing why. And if you're still watching up to this point, I just want to say, I love you. This was Kelly Fax, and I'll see you in the next video.